looks like we're almost at 20. So um, we could actually go ahead and get started. I see that Herman is on the line. Herman, do you mind giving us a word of prayer?
Happy to do it. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, again, thank you for this beautiful, blessed day, this time to gather and to learn from you as you've imparted it to Anthony, Shep, and Alex to share with us. Lord, I just pray we'll have open minds and open hearts to what you have to share to us. I pray that we'll use it to grow our business as you continue to bless us. Thank you for all the blessings you bestow upon us. Use this time to bring glory to yourself. In Jesus' name, amen.
Man, amen. Wonderful prayer, wonderful prayer. So I'm trying to look at my view here. I don't know if Joe is in the room yet. Is
Joe's
Joe?
on a vacation.
He's on vacation, so that means that you got it, Sam.
I got it.
Give us an update on what's going on in the market.
Okay, so the question everyone has is, what are rates doing? Currently, rates are kind of holding steady. Slight uptick for the past couple months, but they're holding steady. If you have a VA, FHA with mid 700 credit scores, you could probably get 2.99, 3%. Conventional, maybe 3.25, 3 3/8. It kind of hasn't moved very much. Some of the big news that's come out is the CFPB. They proposed, and there's been rumors that they were going to extend the foreclosure moratorium through 2022, and they've actually done that. So there are no foreclosures for the rest of 2021. In market news, 41% of houses that are going under contract are going above ask price. 20% of houses that are being sold are all cash purchases. And I know we've seen that in this market where if the house is for sale for $228,000, there's people making offers for $230,000, coming up with the difference. Just be careful making an offer that's $15,000, $20,000 over sales price, especially if your buyer doesn't have the money to make up the difference. It's a game changer. There are some in Atlanta who are doing it. I talked to Antoine earlier, and he's got a buyer who's willing to pay the difference, understanding there might be a difference. So as long as everyone's on the same page and they have the assets to handle the difference, especially on appraisal shortages and things like that, it works out. But otherwise, it could cause problems. Housing prices are up 11%. 59% of all offers all listings are experiencing multiple offers, and that's across the country. The housing inventory is down 40%. Housing apps are down currently, but that's a lot of it's due to refis happening. So there's a lot of refi business still occurring. At this time, there are 2 times more agents, working agents, not just licensed, than available properties on the market. So that just shows you there's double the amount of agents than available properties. And I know you guys have all felt the pinch of having a buyer and not being able to find a property or not being able to get an offer accepted when there's multiple offer situations. I've actually had someone who put an offer on a house that wasn't even in the MLS yet. And they saw a sign, and that night, before it even got on the MLS, there were 4 offers already on the house.
Wow.
So that's just how tight the market is right now. And God bless you agents that are having buyers, because I know it's a struggle.
Yep. Let me ask you this, Sam. So, like, what I've also been seeing is like I talk with a couple of agents, and even some not with our company, and they're seeing like offers that are like super high. So, like for instance, we've seen I think Akiva had a listing for 139.9, and we got offers all the way up to 156 or 159, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so how are those situations handled? Because obviously you're going to run into an appraisal issue. Is the idea to somebody's got their
Microphone on?
Yeah. So my question is, in that situation where the house is listed at 139, hey Katie, can you mute whoever that is?
That's somewhere here.
Oh, okay. All right. So in those situations, Sam, where obviously it's not going to appraise for 159,
Mm-hmm.
in that situation, when the appraiser comes in and says, okay, we appraised it at 145, is that a situation where and Shep, you kind of helped me out on this too. Is it a situation where the buyer or the seller has to still commit to like the other items like the closing cost and things of that nature?
Well, that becomes, and so that's the tricky part. When you're accepting or making an offer over asking price, and part of that stipulation is, I'm offering you 15,000 over asking price, and you pay all closing costs. Well, when the house doesn't appraise, unless there's specific language that you will pay closing costs regardless of what the house appraises for, and that would be more of a Shep question.
Yeah.
But unless there's specific language, when the house doesn't appraise, then you have to renegotiate. And anyone who's offered to pay all closing costs because of a higher sales price, when it doesn't appraise, they're not going to be probably willing to pay all the closing costs if it doesn't appraise, and they have to drop down. And I mean, I've had a situation recently with an agent that the house was 18,000 short. It's not that they offered too much, but it came in short. And the seller was also a realtor in a different company. He ended up dropping the price, but he requested that the agent take a 1% cut in their commission, which wasn't fair. But everything else becomes renegotiated. So I don't know what the answer is, unless if you're a listing agent and someone offers 15,000 more, unless you spell it out that they're responsible for any difference. Because like I was talking to Antoine about, a listing agent lists that house for the fair market value at the high end because they want to make as much money as for their client. So when you come in with an offer that's 10, 15, 20,000 more, you have to understand they've already looked at comparable sales to evaluate the house. And that's the same comps that the appraiser is going to use. So you come in knowing that it's not going to appraise. So that's the tricky part. Now, if you make an offer on a house for 145 and you offer 150, it's a little different, easier to negotiate that than it is when you're 10 or 15,000. If your buyer has the money in Atlanta, they're seeing people with cash that are putting 10, 15, $20,000 with their offer on top of the sales price, and they're making up the difference because there's no inventory. If you have that buyer who has that capital and those resources, then it's an easy fix. But when you have someone who doesn't, then it becomes a negotiating nightmare, I would imagine. Shep, can you speak to that?
Well, yeah, you're right, Sam. For instance, what Anthony was talking about with Kiva 139, obviously agents are listing property at the top of the market, which they should, but it's not going to appraise at 159.
Right.
Like it was under contract for. So you do, if you really want to get that listing, one thing you can ask your buyer is, are you willing to strike the appraisal contingency and come up with the extra cash? And if they are going to have an advantage when it comes to getting that house. But like you said, they've got to be able to have $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to do that.
Right. So I guess in that situation, it was just the agent that was trying to assure that they would pretty much get that deal. I mean, it looks good on paper, but realistically, it's not going to appraise, and you got the seller thinking, oh my God, we're getting this much more money, so let's take this deal. And Kiva and I kind of talked through it, and in that situation, they didn't take the higher offer. They took something more realistic, which I thought was a better idea altogether. What's your thoughts on that, Shep?
Yeah, and that makes sense. And that's another reason you see a lot of people take cash offers, because it's not dependent on an appraisal, even if it may not be the higher offer. But yeah, like I say, if let's say I'm the listing agent and I get 5 offers, I'm going to see if one of those offers is going to strike the appraisal contingency and make the difference up, because it's not going to appraise in a lot of cases.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's good information. I know we're running into that a lot, so I just kind of wanted to talk about that just briefly since Sam brought it up, because we are seeing that. I know it's more common in the Atlanta area, but we're starting to see that a good bit more here, where I don't think Akiva got one offer under the list price. I think everything was above list price. Akiva, are you on the call?
Yes,
Was that the case?
that's correct.
Yeah, she got like 6 or 7 offers, and every last one of them were pretty much
Over list price.
list price. Yeah.
So I
So
think in that case, you just you take the middle ground, because were I a real estate agent and in a competitive market and the house is 145, I might talk my client to offering 2,000 more with some selling closing costs or even none, because that 2,000 over the selling price might be more attractive, but it also isn't that difficult for an appraiser to get to that value, more
Right.
so than 10,000 or 15. I mean, that's an impossibility. I mean, like Shep said, unless the appraisal waiver is struck, an appraiser can get an extra 2,000, 1,500 out of an appraisal in most cases. So it's not unreasonable, but it makes the offer more attractive. But doing 10,000, I mean, we know it's not going to appraise.
yeah,
So you have to have a contingency plan for that.
right, absolutely. All right. Anything else you want to add, Sam? That's it?
Nope. I think that's it. If anyone has any questions, you have my number. Feel free to call me.
Okay. Well, thank you as always for being a part of our meeting, and we really appreciate Loan Depot and everything that you guys do, working with us after hours. That's a big help. So we're going to continue to support you, and we appreciate everything that you do for us.
And I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the leadership and the agents. I mean, you guys are keeping me busy, so thank you.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah. Anthony,
Uh-huh.
Sam and Shep, let me ask a question. I have submitted multiple offers for a VA buyer, and I have been getting feedback from some of the other agents that they are not accepting or even considering VA loans. Is anyone else experiencing this problem, or is this just unique to some of the agents I'm working with?
No, Mary, I've heard that from several different agents, because the market is so thin. People can be choosy, and we know that VA and FHA appraisers are a little bit more strict. There are a lot of properties that are saying, look, we don't have to open it to everyone, so we're just going to restrict it to conventional or cash offers, because we don't have to worry about VA. Even though this is a VA market, they have that latitude because there's such limited inventory.
Good deal. Good deal. Does that answer your question, Mary?
It does, thank you. And I just didn't know, I guess this is a new trend starting now potentially. It's a little scary when you work with a lot of VA buyers.
I was talking to Antoine this morning. We're seeing a lot of new things that we haven't historically seen. So it's both a difficult time for agents, buyers agents, but it's also a good learning tool. We may not run into this again, but we're learning things now that we haven't had to learn because the situation in the market didn't dictate it. So it's going to be a tough time, but we'll make it through and we'll all learn from it.
Good deal. All right, so our theme, Shep, Alex, and I, well, really Alex came up with this. You know how he's always just outside the box with stuff. So he wanted this month's theme to kind of be about real estate, but more about us as individuals, making sure that we kind of take care of ourselves, mentally, physically, spiritually. So this month we've kind of dedicated it to just kind of self-help type stuff, and whether it's taking care of your body, reading good books, how to stress less. And today's sales meeting is kind of as you can see the way I'm dressed, really informal. And I wanted to do it at home, because if I'm talking about how to handle stress like a champ, being at home for me is just like extra special because I'm really never at home, a lot. So, of course, my wife was happy about that I said, hey, I'm doing the sales meeting at home. So she got excited and started helping clean some stuff up. And so, just the fact that I'm here, she's kind of excited about that. So I told Daniel I'm dressed down. He's never seen me in without a suit and tie. So look, Daniel, I got the shorts on and everything and the flip flops. So I'm on the back
And
porch.
the flip flops.
Hey man, look, check them out.
Man, we could almost go out for a drink now, man.
That's right. That's right. So I decided to do it at home. My home is when we bought this house, I'm an outdoors type person, and everybody that knows me knows that I like sitting outside and I like doing things outside. So I'm outside on the back porch here, and this is just one of the porches. That's another porch over there. I can't sit over here. My wife doesn't really allow me because that's the master bedroom. And after a couple of drinks, everybody starts to get kind of loud. So I usually go to the other porch over there. But this is my sanctuary. And I think that, it's my place of peace. And when I'm outside on the porch, it gives me time to think. It kind of gives me time to rejuvenate myself. But I love being here. And this is one of the reasons why we bought this house, just because it had so many features of being outside while I'm still inside. So I love this area. But what I wanted to talk about is, we all love real estate. And sometimes we need to take a break from it because real estate can really be a roller coaster. And it can get the best of all of us. So we have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. Business is up sometimes, it's down sometimes deals are going great. Sometimes deals just go haywire. I know there was a couple of deals that Danielle had that was just super, super smooth. And it was a couple that she had that have been really, really rough. So we all go through it. I mean, it's a part of the business, and learning how to deal with it better just makes real estate better. But we have to expect the good days along with the bad days and how we handle it, because we're all different people. So we handle situations different. But we have to understand that our clients and our customers, I mean, they are considerate, but at the end of the day, they expect us to do a job regardless of what's going on with us. And sometimes we have to really do a good job at mastering that. I remember when my youngest child, Deja, was born, and we were in the hospital, and I was on the phone and just, taking care of deals. And my wife, even though she's an agent, like, she just had a fit. She's like, you just had a child today. Can you stay off of your phone for one day? Can you please? I mean, can you just stay off of your phone for one day? And, basically what I was telling her was like, babe, people are considerate of what you're going through, but at the end of the day, they want to make sure that their business is taken care of. And especially when you're talking about most people's largest purchase, which is a home. So, hey, Anthony had a baby today. All right, good, congratulations. But what's going on with my house? Where we are in negotiations or whatever. So we do have to keep that in mind, that these people have trusted us. They've trusted us with their largest purchase. And we have to be mindful and understand that, we have a job to do. but that all comes with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, as well as growth. uh I remember there were times when on the 4th of July, Shep, and I'm out on the grill, because I am a master of the grill. Make no mistake about it. So if anybody wants to challenge that, just let me know. But anyway, I was on the grill 4th of July, and I was a young agent, and I got a call, and someone said, "Hey, I got this house that I want to see, and we want to put an offer in on it." And I literally left the grill, told one of my family members, "Hey, can you can you watch the burgers and the ribs while I go show this house?" And I was gone for a couple of hours, and on my way back, my wife was upset again because she was like, "This dude, he's just in and out, in and out." But I've learned. I mean, I've been in the business a while, and I've learned how to manage my time a little better, and relieve some of that stress. So uh, we have to be mindful of that. But when you know better, you do better. So that's what it's all about. When you know better, you do. So keep in mind that we're professionals, and we set the tone, and we have to be in control of it. That relieves stress, because you have to understand, and I stress this to the new agents: you are a walking business. You are your own business. You set your hours, you set the tone, you set everything. We talked about how when you go to the doctor, you don't dictate to the doctor what the doctor does. The doctor comes in and tells you what's going on, what they're going to do, how the consultation is going to go. And it's important that we do the same thing, that we control the atmosphere. Um, we can't allow clients to dictate how we work or how we run our business, because they're looking for us to be the professional. They're looking for us to know. They're looking to us for the guidance. Uh, and they expect for us to be the level-headed, calm person. So when we're stress-free, we're calm, we're collected, then it cascades across to the clients and even other agents. So we have to make sure that we're the level-headed, calm one, and we have to be careful about what we say, because we can raise their anxiety. I learned that when I was young in the real estate game, where the way that I talked to my client dictated how the transaction is going to go. That's important. We have to make sure as professionals we understand what we can and cannot say, and how we say what we say. Uh, if you get an offer and you're like, "Hey, listen, we got an offer, but this guy is just nitpicking on everything. He doesn't want to pay a lot of closing. It's like he wants the world, but he's not even offering us a full price. But I'm gonna let you see it, and you just tell me what you want to do." When you set the tone like that and you cascade that to your seller, then your seller is gonna have this preconceived notion about this buyer. They're going to be upset with the buyer. They're going to be upset with the agent. They're going to not do things that they normally would have done, just because you as the agent set the tone. So if we want to relieve stress within us, we have to relieve stress within our clients too, because on one end, you may look or think that you're being supportive of that agent, or I'm sorry, of that client, uh, and you're looking out for their best interest, and you're trying hard to prove to them that you're doing your job, but it could come across the wrong way. And that creates a lot of stress in this business when you have buyer and seller fighting through the whole transaction. And that raises your stress level as an agent, because you don't know whether this deal is going to fall apart at any minute or not. So if you want to relieve stress within you, you have to relieve stress within your buyers. So be careful about how you talk to them and what you say to them, because it could raise their anxiety and yours as well. Another thing is you just got to work in the moment. Uh, Man, I got a lot of stuff on my plate, just like Shep and Alex and most of you guys do. And sometimes it can be very, very overwhelming when I'm taking calls from agents during the day. And then I have some property management issues where I have to call in maintenance requests. And then my real estate deals are going crazy, and I'm in meetings with Shep and Alex. It can be a crazy day, but I do my best not to allow that to show. Anytime an agent calls me, hey, no problem, what do you need? How can I help you? uh, with property management, if things are going haywire, I may feel stressed, but I never let that stress show. But out of all of that, we just have to keep a level head, handle work in the moment. Work, you can only do what you can do at the time. Anything else, hey, you just can do what you can do. So work in the moment, stay focused on the task at hand, and don't worry about what else is coming. Um, and guys, think about this. I'm a strong believer in this. Like, if you lose a listing or a buyer, always remember this, and Herman can attest to this, and Shep and a couple more. Like, I really believe that what God has for me is for me. And if I didn't get that listing, I was not supposed to have that listing. If this buyer did not work with me, I was not supposed to have that buyer. And I never go back and I never replay it in my mind. I don't stress about it, because at the end of the day, I make money. Money doesn't make me. And I know that whatever God calls for, he provides for. Uh, so I never stress if a deal doesn't go through or if I don't get a listing. I just don't. It's too much business out there to be worried about one listing, or one buyer that didn't come to us, or we didn't close the deal. It's just too much business out there. You gotta kind of brush it off, uh, and move to the next person. So what God has for you is for you. Don't stress about it. In due time, you're going to close the deals that you're supposed to close, and you just got to really believe that. Whatever doesn't get done that day, let it be the first thing that you accomplish the next day. Uh, One of the things that Shep had talked about in another meeting, um, is, Shep, where you talked about how you prioritize the things that you had to do that day, and then the other. You remember that?
Yeah, yeah, Anthony. So usually I'll write down the 3 or 4 things I have to do today, and I get them done, priorities. Then I'll write down a couple things I should do, and I don't. That means I don't have to do them today. I can do them tomorrow. You
Right.
know. But I concentrate on the 2 or the 3 priorities, 3 or 4, and everything else can wait. You don't have to get everything done today.
Right. And you just have to accomplish the things that you prioritize for that day.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how I do my schedule. And that was a great learning lesson from Shep. And I was like, some of the simplest things can mean so much in your real estate career. And that, when Shep talked about that, that just really hit me like a brick to say, wow, you know what? That will make life a lot easier. Just do the things that I have to do to prioritize. Then the other things, if I don't get to it today, it'll be the first thing on my list tomorrow, and then I'll do it. So just work in the moment. Everything else, just get it done the next day. Don't stress about it. The other thing is keeping a firm schedule. Try to stay on your schedule. When Shep, Alex, and I meet with new agents, one of the first things we talk about is setting a schedule. That's so important. When you know what you have planned for the day, that makes things a lot smoother. Um, the most stressed agents are the ones with a scattered schedule. So those are the ones that are most stressed, the ones with a, they have a scattered schedule. I remember doing uh, a interview with Miss Jackie and Delois. And one of the things that Delois said that resonated with me is she said, I set a schedule every day, or my assistant sets a schedule for me every day, and I abide by that schedule and I do my best to stick to it. And there are times when I was trying to set up this meeting for this interview with Delois and I couldn't get her on the phone. And it was basically because she was sticking to her schedule. And it's like, when I'm answering emails or I'm doing this, I'm not taking phone calls. I have a certain time where I return all my phone calls for the day, and that's when I return them. So that includes Anthony, Shep, and Alex. So I could respect her for that. And but that's because she keeps a firm schedule. And she's a big believer in that. So I thought that was really big that she talked about that, and she sticks to it. Um, Always plan ahead. Sticking to the schedule, that depends on, making sure that you plan ahead. A good day starts the night before. I just believe that, if you wait until you get into the office and then start planning your day, uh, you're going to miss out on some valuable time. So just keep in mind that a good day, to plan a good day, it starts the night before. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. I don't know if Alex is on the call, but I know some of the military people talk about the 12 P's. But it was more like when I was in my fraternity, we had the 12 P's, but at that time it was piss poor preparation promotes piss poor performance, and piss poor performance promotes pain. So we had to make sure that we did everything that we were supposed to do the day before or the day ahead of time. So make sure that we were doing that. Put routine activities, hobbies, non-working items in your schedule, and make that a task. So when you're doing your schedule, I tell the new agents to be very detailed in your schedule, which means that if you're going to lunch, put lunch in your schedule. If you're going to do something else or play golf or whatever, put it in your schedule so you stay on track and you're not going outside of your schedule to do those things. Just put them in your schedule and make it work. So you're planning your day, which you have your work day and you have other things as well. It'll relieve a lot of stress if you just put all of that stuff inside of your schedule. So make sure that you do that. Um, Schedule breaks every 50 to 52 minutes. Mike Ferry talks about this in the retreat, and I hope that you guys get an opportunity to go to the retreat. We learned so much in that retreat, but he said the most professional people take a break every 50 minutes. So I thought about that. And when I was in school and in college, a lot of times the classes only lasted 50 minutes. So that was the peak production time after 50 minutes to make sure that you just walk away from your work and take a break. Take a couple of minutes, gather your thoughts, get back at it. but take frequent breaks every 50 minutes, just so you can kind of refresh yourself. Another thing is identifying what stresses you the most on a daily basis. If you identify what you're stressing about, whether it's work related or, whatever it is, identify what stresses you, what brings your anxiety level up, and deal with those things first so you can go ahead and get it behind you. Um, when we put the most stressful things and we put it off, we end up having a non-productive day because we dread having to get to those things that stress us. So if we just do the things that stresses us or gives us the most anxiety first, then we can get past it and we feel a lot better afterwards. So find out what stresses you first. Work on situations or things that stress you, and make yourself better at it. I know that I used to stress when making prospecting calls, but I was stressed about it because I didn't want to hear a no, or I didn't know what to say, or I didn't feel like I was as prepared for it. So I would stress making the phone calls. Akiva, I was stressed about making the phone calls. Falana, I was stressed about making those phone calls. So you just gotta keep practicing on it, and the better you get, the less stress you'll have. So whether it's handling objections, Mike Ferry knows that stresses some of the agents. So he's got something that, and Shep and I were talking about it. We're going to get a booklet out to you, which will include, I think it's about 40 of them, Shep, 40 objection handlers.
Yeah, there's 40, and there's really only about 10 of them that are really, really popular. And we have the top 10, but yeah, there's 40, but there's 10 that you're mainly going to hear most of the time. You need to know how to answer those.
Yeah. So when you learn how to answer those objections, it just makes life a lot easier. A lot of times we go into presentations or listing presentations or working with clients, and we're so stressed because we don't know what they're going to ask us, or we fear we may not have the answer. But the objection handlers, they work wonders as far as relieving stress, because it almost gets you to the point where you're smiling as they're asking you, because what Mike says is that it's the same questions that sellers ask over and over again in the last 20, 30 years. It really hadn't changed that much. So look at those objection handlers, and that will relieve stress, whether it's talking to clients. I work with a lot of new agents on paperwork. We work on scripts. All of these things are in an effort to relieve your anxiety and stress when you're doing this business. So find out what your stressors are, work on them, become better at it, do what you can to perfect it. And I guarantee you it will relieve a lot of your stress. Next thing is, which is probably the biggest, is just take a break. Take a day to recoup. I know a couple of weeks ago, Shep went to Panama City, took a couple of days off and relaxed. Alex went to Savannah for his birthday. Shep and Alex, they went, where did you guys go, Shep?
Well, where was that? What are you talking about, Anthony?
When you and Alex took a vacation a couple of months back, where did you guys go?
Ireland.
Ireland, that's it, Ireland. Yeah, these guys, they work hard, but they play hard too. They get their vacations in. So I need to, and I'm not just speaking to the agents, I'm speaking for myself. I need to do a better job at that, because it's all work, 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 work. And I made a commitment to take more time off. I talked with Shep about trying to come up with a plan where I'm off work every 70 days. I want to take a vacation. So I'm going to work 70 days, take a week, work 70 days, take a week off. So that's my plan. I hadn't gotten there yet, but that's the goal. That's where I want to eventually get to. My last vacation was in 2019, and I know the pandemic has hit since then, but I'm gonna take some time off. So take a break, take a day off if you can. If you don't have a lot of time, take a day off or 2 days, or take an extended lunch. If you're usually gone 30 minutes for lunch or an hour, take 2 hours. The world is not going to end because you took an additional hour just to wind down. So take an extended lunch, call a friend or a family member who you like talking to, and just take a couple of minutes just to take your mind off of the busy work schedule. And sometimes that'll get you through the day. Just taking a few minutes to laugh and talk to somebody will actually get you through the day. And of course, like I said, taking a vacation. You deserve it. You work hard for your money. And a lot of times we just work and we never get to enjoy the fruits of our labor. So take a vacation, put vacation in your schedule. Hear what I'm saying? Put vacation in your schedule, because I'm going to do it next year. I promise you. And I'm going to do it this year too. Uh, Another good thing is exercise. Exercise is great. I remember one day Alex tuned in I don't know if you remember this, Daniel, but Alex tuned in to a Zoom sales meeting, and he was at the gym, and he was just like a sweat hog. His shirt was just dripping wet, but he was at the gym exercising. So exercise, it's a good thing to do. 30 minutes of cardio can work wonders for you. At least try to get 30 minutes of cardio in. It clears your head and it helps your heart. So try to get exercise in. And for me, I'm the type of person that I don't sleep a lot. I probably sleep 4 hours a day, and you know, my wife just when she goes to sleep, I'm up, and when she wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm up, and she's like, "Did you go to sleep?" I was like, "A little bit," but I noticed when I started exercising, it allowed me to sleep longer. So exercising does help you sleep better because it tires you out. So it reduces your stress level. So get that exercise in. Shep and Alex have been working with me on eating better. So I ate Brussels sprouts for the first time a couple of weeks ago. It didn't taste that great at Hotel Indigo, but we went to a place in Auburn called Lucy's, and they were a lot better. It tasted a lot better. So I ate Brussels sprouts. I was just trying new things, trying to eat better. Uh, three more things that we want to talk about because we're almost out of time. One is meditating. Find your inner peace. I mean, just really do things that make you feel better, that make you feel good about yourself. So whatever that is, do more of that. That helps. Positive affirmations, that's a big one for me. My wife kind of turned me on to positive affirmations. You are what you think you are. So before every sales meeting, before every training, before everything that I do, I always do positive affirmation. This is going to be a great training. This is going to be a great meeting. The agents are going to get it. I'm going to say something that's going to change somebody's life. It's going to be beneficial. I am great. I am what they need. And I keep those positive affirmations. I do that when I'm meeting with new clients. This deal is going to work. They are going to hire me. I do that all the time because you are what you think. You are what you think. So make sure that you do positive affirmations. Uh, Alex talked about it last week about reading books, uh, the power of positive thinking, um, watching motivational material. That's a big one for me. I don't have much time to read a book, but I do have audio books, and I
enough
just listen
information for
to it.
me. Like, there's a way to do it. I'll do it because like you're supposed to be on
I
the
think
phone.
that's Alex. But motivational material, and listening to good music. I know that Alex used to send videos uh, to the agents in the morning, different videos. I remember he sent one with Pitbull. I think it was the Men in Black or something like that. But he used to send motivational music videos. So whatever music you like to listen to, that relieves stress. It calms you. It motivates you. So that's a good thing to do. Another thing is, I mean, getting a pet or an animal, man. Like, it's that simple. There's nothing else you need to say about it. It relieves stress. It's a proven fact. Uh, you see it on television where people that's dealing with anxiety or PTSD or things of that nature, they take these people to like either a horse farm or giving them a dog or something like that. I know that nowadays you could take service animals into a lot of facilities because, hey, they relieve stress. They help. So having a pet, I know Daniel didn't have a choice with a pet that his wife wanted, so he just shut up and did what she said, and now life is better for him. So hey, get a pet, get an animal or something like that. The last thing that I want to say is, uh, well, it's two more. Adjust your goals and expectations as needed. So if you need to reset, it's totally fine to reset. Just because you have your goals on your schedule is never too late to reassess. And I even say that during the year when you're looking at your real estate productivity, look at things that work and do more of that the next month or more of that the next year. So always reassess and always reset. Most of us are our own worst critic. So a lot of our stress is self-inflicted. So we have to make sure that, sometimes you got to give yourself a pat on the back. And sometimes you got to, look and see what you've done for the year, and pride in what you have accomplished. So sometimes you do need to reassess. Don't compare yourself to other people. Everybody can't be just the top producing agent every year in and out. I mean, it's not always like that. So don't compare yourself to others. You got to find the balance between work and leisure. And I'm trying to do a better job at that myself. I'm not just speaking to you guys, I'm talking to me specifically too. Sometimes I gotta just say, I gotta walk away from it. So, and the last thing is, and I know that Delois and Jackie can attest to this, is hire some help, get an assistant. That could relieve a lot of your stress when you have assistants to help you out. When you're stressing all day, it's always good to have somebody in your corner to help you out. Our staff, Bridget, Katie, Susie, Sharon, they make Angelica's, Alex, and Shep's in my life so much easier. Brooks, Patricia, like they are their own stress relievers for some of the people in the office and some of the agents. So hire yourself some help, and I tell you, it's well worth the money spent. So again, those are some of the things that I think that will help you reduce stress, relieve stress. And guys, we got to take care of ourselves first, because if we don't, nobody else will. And in a lot of cases, we are working for our loved ones to make a better life for them. A lot of people depend on us to do what we do, not only our families, but people in the community. Um, we are relationship agents. So you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. And I'm a big believer in that. So wanted to share that with you guys. Again, it's more of a wind down Wednesday. Brianka, I stole your little saying, but it's really just a wind down Wednesday. And do you guys have any questions for me or any feedback? Anybody, Shep, Alex, anybody? Going once, going twice. All right. Any new listings for anybody? Does anybody have any new listings? Uh, Chelsea, do you have a new listing, Chelsea, that you want to talk about? Chelsea, any new listings that you want to talk about? Okay, Chelsea,
Yes. Sorry,
go
I
ahead.
was messing with the baby.
What listing do you have?
Hold on 1 second. Sorry, y'all.
All right, while she's looking for it, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, 1709 in square footage. It's 7719 Nature Trail. How you remember? How much is it listed for, Chelsea?
It's listed for 185.
185. So we've been getting some showings on it. It's completely updated on the inside. It does have a little sloped hill, so that's the only downside to it. But great listing, is listed at a great price. Anybody, you're free to show it. It's vacant. Bring us an offer. We're excited about it. I think Bridget sent it at the beginning of this week as well. Anybody else have any new listings? Okay. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If there's anything that I can help you with, me, Shep, and Alex are always available. We always have an open door policy to help you with whatever you need. So give us a call. Even though my door is closed sometimes, if I'm there, you just knock on the door. I'm always willing to help. So thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all have a great day. Go sell some houses. Take care.